the growing trend of barn dominiums, board and batten siding continues to grow in popularity. At Western States Metal Roofing, we are proud to now offer board and batten siding with all the benefits of metal.
What we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the Western States board and batten panel, and we're going to do a horizontal to end wall detail, and we're also going to use the closures included in this project. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our standard C trim that we have on our catalog, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill the holes. I'm going to do 1 inch off the end and then 12 inches on center down the piece to meet our specs for our screw pattern. There we go, we pre-drilled our holes. Now we're gonna take our film off and then we're gonna mount it up using a level. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our C-trim and then we're gonna mount it in our corner. What you wanna do is you wanna make sure that your underlayment and everything on your wall application is nice and tight against the wall so nothing's sticking out, so it doesn't block your piece and make your wall look distorted as you're mounting it. Okay, so now we have our C-channel applied to our corner end wall detail right here. We are running our panels horizontal, so what we do is we're gonna run a piece of standard Z that's off of our catalog for our panel system, and we're gonna take this Z and we're gonna mount it on the bottom to attach our first panel on our first run of panels going up, making sure that our seams are running down to match the water flow. All right, so what I'm gonna do is my module is 4 foot wide, so I'm gonna make my piece 4 foot wide, and I'm gonna mark it 1 inch off the ends and then come a foot on each one to apply my screws. 4 feet, 1 inch, 12 inch, 2 foot, 3 foot, 1 inch end. All right, so we got our board and batten pattern, we got our Z-bar starter strip on here. There's 2 applications. What I'm gonna do on my application is I'm gonna slide it through the Z, and I'm gonna leave the tab on here, and what happens, the Z is gonna make it so this piece cannot slide out of that Z-bar. If any of the system fails, it has this last backup to hook onto the Z-bar so it won't actually come off the wall. If you have a condition where you're inside an internal wall, you're gonna have to cut off this little 1/2 inch leg on the bottom right here and mount a rivet through the face of this panel to the Z-bar to attach the panel on the first panel. So here I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my first panel and I'm gonna slide it on the end. Remember, the slotted holes are 6 inches on center, so if you have to have a 12-inch fastener pattern, you just miss every other hole and you'll get your 12-inch pattern for your fastening system. Make sure you don't over tighten your screws. Their slots are in there for reasons for thermal movement, so make sure you never over amp on your fastening pattern. Okay, and for the horizontal operation, what we do is we typically start with this bottom piece on the bottom first, so when the water sheds, the water is draining down and away from the seam instead of running it this way, which will create the water to go into the seam, which will contribute to all your leakage on the backside of your wall. And don't forget, when you're installing your panels, you always need to take your 5-in-1 and you need to open up your hems on each of the corners, so that way this leg right here can slide in here and not have any issues. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take our piece, we're gonna slide it into our C-pocket, we're gonna slide our panel all the way to the top, making sure our panels are fully seated in there. All right, so what we have here is we have our Western States closure right here. It is 1 inch thick. That matches our 1 inch C channel that we use on our typical application. They're pre-notched for your convenience. So all you gotta do is put it up to the panel, cut it, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a dab of caulking down the middle of the back before we apply it. That way the piece will stick and stick inside the channel and won't come out once the caulking is fully cured. And it will keep bugs and insects from crawling inside behind your panels. All right, so what we're gonna do here is just easy as this. Walk up to your piece, find the line it goes to. So what you do is you would typically put a bead of caulking in the back right here, and you would take your piece right here, get down, and push it into the pocket. There you go. And then when you finally finish off, what you would typically do is your seat pocket, you would take and put a rivet on the top of the high cell all the way up the wall.
You can find step-by-step installation videos and homeowner guides on our channel. And don't forget to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribe. Want to learn more? Check out these videos.